Howdy folks, Keywii here, and welcome back to Lucy, the eternity she wished for. This is just a perfectly acceptable game where nothing bad happens and I don't make fun of it, and it's awesome and I love every second of it. It's totally the next Rumu and Doki Doki Literature Club. It's amazing, and I'm not being sarcastic. So let's continue. She wouldn't be able to top something that Mama used to make, as they say. Although, personally, I've never had an opportunity to taste my mother's cooking, so I can't compare. Looking back at Lucy, who was still staring at me with great anticipation, I think about what I should say. I can feel an aura of confidence around her, yet she appears to be worried at the same time. She's expecting me to say something. "This cooking sucks!" Finally make my reply. Tastes alright, I guess. I mean, I did mention that it was amazing, so neither of these options? I'm just now lying. It's alright, I guess. Well, it tastes alright, I guess. Wow, what a relief. I thought you would, give a positive response instead of a neutral one. Even with my meek response, she still lets out a big sigh of relief. Yeah, you are desperate for the D. Like, just holy shit. Like, that included. Lucy was so worried that you might not enjoy her cooking. I haven't said I enjoy it. I said it's alright. Neutral response. Lucy was lacking the initial data. You don't need to concern yourself with that. I've been eating fast foods. Fast foods, huh? It's just multiple fast foods all my life. I'll eat anything, even if it makes me some porridge with pig intestines. Don't say that. She might do that. Don't make promises you aren't prepared to keep. Is that how Lucy's cooking tastes like? That isn't even slightly close to what he said. Please forgive Lucy for her lack of skills. Not even slightly close to what he said. You're basing your entire self-worth off of the opinion of a schlub who doesn't care about you. That's the definition of toxic behavior. Lucy truly is a failure of an android. She actually looks pretty depressed about this. She looks as if she's about to run off while leaving behind a trail of tears. A trial of tears. Am I supposed to chase after her while holding a piece of bread in my mouth or something? Don't comment on anime cliches when you very clearly make them. No, that's not what I meant. Very specifically not what I meant. I'm saying it tastes better than what I'd expected. Like, god damn it. Stop overreacting. So don't beat yourself up over it. Is that true? Yeah. And then, now my character's gonna later on be like, I've never said anything good about you, even though you literally just did. If you didn't care about her, you wouldn't try and cheer her up, so, there's that. Can Lucy really trust you with those words? How should I know at this point? Nothing makes fucking sense. Like, none of them are consistent anyway. It doesn't take long for Lucy to cheer up and start humming away happily. It's nice that she's easy to deal with. I continue to eat in silence while checking up on her after every few spoonfuls. Like, they contradict themselves constantly, so it's just like, why do I care? Why should I care about these people? They are my life. They don't make sense. I can't tell how much time has passed. Neither can I. Someone stole the hands on the clock. The bowl of rice I've been eating has started to show its bottom. So probably like 45 seconds? A minute? How long does it take to eat rice? Still a glance at the clock. It's not yet time to leave for school. While reveling in my satisfaction, I decide to sit back in my chair and chill out for a bit. Oh, right, I should write. Some time passes. While cleaning up the empty dishes, Lucy asked me a question. What size is your dick? Her tone is quite delicate, as if to soothe a small animal. Pardon Lucy for asking, but what is a first-person pronoun? But there's something she's been wondering about since yesterday. What is it? She seemed to be hesitating, so I gave her a little push. Smack her across the room. I meant from like the back of the head, not in like in a domestic dispute way. Don't think that. Don't think that about me. Go ahead. The reason why you hate robots is it due to father's influence? God, your fucking pronoun game could use some serious work. The question catches me off guard. I mean, it makes so much sense and it's obvious, but still. All the unpleasant memories involving my father come flying back, just to hit me in the face. I slowly realize that my chopsticks are frozen in midair. I let go of them. Why are they still there? Without missing a beat, I continue delivering the food to my mouth. Then clearly didn't pause with them in midair. In an attempt to hide my surprise, I purposefully give a curt answer. Well, I guess you could say that. Not that curt. Nothing will change from denying it. Actually, what would be the definition of a curt response? I thought it was like blunt and also a little aggressive, but I guess not. I put down the chopsticks and lock eyes with Lucy. This robot's just laid. I was just staring like intently at her eyes. The robot's just like I can't do visual cues like that. It doesn't work. The robot just laid to waste the values and beliefs I've held for the past 18 years. Keeping my eyes on the robot, I muse. Now that I think about it, I was probably brainwashed. By brainwashed, do you mean? I've heard nothing but awful things about robots since I was young. Robots are bad. Robots make us ill. Robots harm society. I grew up... Immigrants will lower the dollar value. I grew up listening to all this, that all the time, so it sort of just rubbed off on me. Yeah, that is in fact how that works. The previous generation of IT, now the new generation of robots. Intelligent timers? I don't know. As long as we live sandwiched between two generations, there's bound to be people advocating against new technology, such as robots. There's plenty of people out there who strongly oppose to the production of robots. I was gonna make a joke at the end of the sentence by saying the word robot again. I didn't have to. The game is making the joke for me. My father is a prime example. Similar to what happened during the Industrial Revolution, the effects of this profound new technology... You could have gotten a better photo. Profound new technology is gradually expanding across the globe. Robots are slowly taking away people's job opportunities. That's not what the Industrial Revolution did. It gave people jobs. It gave them a significant number of jobs. That's not fucking... It costs less to maintain robots than to pay employee salaries. Robots never complain, and they're consistent in their performance, unlike people. They don't feel any stress or pain, and they never mess around. It'd be much easier to deal with a robot than to fuss over a troublesome worker. That is genuinely a problem. I'm not going to get too into it, but employers, even nowadays, they want to take the easy route. Like back decades ago and like a century ago, the employer cared about the employee, at least to a certain extent. Just like even if it was in a factory, it's just like you're still a cog here. But now, literally, it's not even that. Not even in factory work anymore either. It's literally the employer is just like, how many people can I pay 2 hours a week and give no benefits? Like, we aren't even cogs in the machine. At this point, the machine is disassembled and everything's strewn about. It's just like, how much can I have in a pile surrounding me? And it's just garbage. Not the pile, but like the whole system. That's kind of why I'm unemployed. You know, part of the reason. We're only beginning to find out what kind of changes robots will bring to our society. Unemployment is getting out of control. Again, probably not due to the robots, probably due to the greed of humanity. All the newly formed jobs are being handled by robots. Unemployment... Oh. No robots. This is why many people shun robots. And not, the greed of employers. No one understands whether this is a temporary phenomenon arising from the drastic change in our lifestyles, or if it's a type of psychological disease. It will become clearer as time goes on. One thing I can say for sure is that there's always been a divide amongst the population, as made evident by the Ludditism movement in the early 1800s. I don't actually know that one. Some are willing to accept that it's new technology, while some are not. I mean, that's true. That's always the case. To me, a world run by robots doesn't seem too promising. Excuse me. Well, maybe that's because you're thinking of it as they're going to take control, as opposed to they're going to be here along with us. Like, truly sapient AI, or sentient, or whatever, they're going to create job opportunities through their own means. They're just going to be like, I want to start a company, for whatever reason, and then they're going to hire people and robots alike, and... like, just machines, sure, they're going to take jobs, whatever. They're going to make the place more efficient, going to need less people. Actual sapient robots are not going to do that. They just aren't. It was too late by the time I'd finally grown old enough to be able to think for myself. It's not as simple as just changing my perspective. That is unfortunately true. Because maybe I still would have turned out like this even without my father's influence. Okay, sure, but that's irrelevant. My hatred for robots has simply become a part of my life now. Not really. It seems to only really affect your conversation with other people. It doesn't really, like, the way of thinking aside, you haven't really, like, you aren't really aggressive. You just be like, man, robots are stupid, and then move on. You're very neutral in this matter. The most horrifying part of brainwashing is that you can never really fight against... You can. There are ways. It's technically impossible to bend someone completely to their will, to your will. Also not true. That is completely false. You can't do anything about people acting loyal on the outside, but despising you on the inside. That one I'm not so sure about. Brainwashing is different, however, because the person wouldn't have the knowledge to think for themselves in the first place. That one is true. It's possible to take advantage of that bit by bit. As long as the victim never comes to realize this, he'll never be able to retaliate. There also needs to be a compelling reason for him to change. Well, I mean, compelling reason is you're brainwashed. That's usually good enough for people. But let's take cults, for example. I'm taking this episode out of context for a whole bunch. Let's take cults, for example. People aren't generally born into cults. They're persuaded to do that. So, something goes wrong in their life, or something, and they decide, I need something to improve myself. And they get this, and they're very susceptible at that time, and they get this, they hear about this magical cure-all way of living. It's the perfect way to be. You can do anything you want. You can become, well, I was going to say God, but that's not the case. You can become a millionaire. You can live the world you've always wanted to live. And, like, they get a couple free things at first just to pull them in, and then once they're in, things slowly taper off to, you know, we just need a couple bucks, you know, keep the thing going, it's great, and then it devolves from there on. Eventually they're to the point where they, a lot of people who are in cults, I've actually learned, are well aware that it's horrible, but they can't escape because they're driven by the need of, I've invested so much of my time and effort and money and worth into this, it can't be worthless. It can't be for nothing. So, and that's a fallacy, but that's the way it is. They invest so much of their themselves that they don't want to just give it up. They want to think this was worth something. So they try and make it worth something by doing it better and stronger and harder, but that just sort of propagates the process, and it's just, that's how a cult works. I don't know where the murder death comes in, but that's probably because I'm not a person who would go for this sort of shit. As long as a victim, yeah, I've read that. Even with a good reason, it likely won't be, it's likely that he won't be willing to accept it. I just explained why that's not true. Because if he did, he would be going against all the beliefs he'd held for his entire life. It would crumble the very foundation of his very existence. That sounds more like religion than cult. A friend of mine who's very religious, but like actually really cool, I've just said some stuff here and there that apparently has wrecked his entire mentality, like, and we're still great friends, but like, he's mentioned, like, off and on, like, you said a thing, and man, did it change my entire perspective. I wasn't ready for that, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. The older a person becomes, the harder it gets for them, because women are involved in this, you fucking sexist, to admit that he has been in the wrong. Who knows? Maybe I never would have come to hate robots. It's too late for me to start thinking about that now, though. So you had an entire monologue in your head about how you aren't in control and blah blah blah, and then out loud you're like, yeah, I don't know, I could be fine. Like, you completely contradicted yourself. This is why I make fun of this game. Lucy is my name. Lucy really hopes that you give her some clothes, and his father will come to appreciate robots. Appreciate Lucy. She wants to get along with everyone. Humble, but very, very impossible goal. Upon hearing that, I knowingly let out a bitter laugh. You saw what my father did when he found out you're a robot. You're asking for the impossible. It's impossible. So the voice had a sonic moment. It'd be a relief in itself if nothing happens to you behind your back. Like, this whole voice I'm giving him out loud, that's sort of like 90s attitude voice. But occasionally it sounds like it dips into Sonic, so that's why I do that. Gotta go fast. Lucy understands that, but her wishes remain the same. I sigh softly. She's failing to think logically as a computer. That sentence doesn't make sense. Even after hearing that my father wants to throw you out, how could you still hope for something like that? If person A hates person B, it's likely person B will come to hate person A. Not even slightly true. Maybe for some people, sure. Not for fucking everybody. That's not a fact. I guess you said likely, but even so. At least that's how it is for normal human relationships. Again, not true. Fucking... so how come Lucy can't grasp this? Also, when you go into the menu, you can't immediately leave it. It takes like 2 seconds, and it's real upsetting. How come Lucy can't grasp it? She clearly can, she's just fucking hopeful. It's a personality trait. Because she's very patient and forgiving? No way. It's because she's a robot that knows how to suppress its emotions. It's because she isn't human. Humans can do these things. My fucking god. Lucy thinks that father is just as kind-hearted as Master is. Lucy can tell. That's why she hopes that he will retain a healthy relationship with Master. With Lucy too, of course. You're already mistaken by calling me kind-hearted. You've absolutely acted kind-heartedly towards her thus far. Your words and actions are not the same. You're not one... You are a contradictory piece of cardboard. And it's not just father. She just ignored me. That little fucking cunt. I'm sorry, I apologize for saying that word. I know it's offensive to North America. The man at the repair shop and the research center of the lab, they're all nice people. To be a big help to everyone, including Master. That is Lucy's mission and her wish. It definitely sounds like something a robot would say. No, it isn't. That sounds like something an anime character would say. I mean, I guess in Japan, it's possible that they could program AI to be like anime characters. I don't know. I absolutely 100% predict, guarantee, there will be tsundere robots in Japan in the future. That's just happening. There's no escape from that. It doesn't seem like she's capable of sorting the good from the bad. Or the ugly. I can't help but give a cynical reply. In the end, we're the same. That's not cynical, that's defeatist. Oh, okay, you're not done. You've also been brainwashed, but in a different way. I hate when people give, like, partial sentences every fucking bloop sentence, bloop half a sentence. Lucy slightly tilts... I'm talking about Discord. Lucy slightly tilts her head to the side. She seems to do whatever she's confused about. Could Master elaborate? Liberate? Can we liberate the humans? You will love humans. You'll love my nuts. That's essentially what's been programmed into your main system. You have no free will. That's an illusion. You have no choice but to act this way. She tilts her head from side to side. Ah! She doesn't seem to understand. You want to help everyone, right?
Hi.
Yes, of course. And you're happy when you help people?
Hi.
Yes, Lucy is very happy. Why do you think that you want to help others and that you feel happy once you do? Asking the deep questions, man. Alright, I'm gonna fucking end it here. Literally, you could ask that to people, real human people that just love helping people. And the conclusion you'll come to isn't one that's even slightly related to the question. Like, you can ask somebody who works at homeless shelters why they feel the need to help people. You should be like, I don't know, I just do. You should be like, you've been programmed that way. It makes about as much sense as it does for this robot. Anyway, that'll have to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I, of course, am Keywii, I'm great too, and you have yourself a delightful day. Goodbye!